Philip Good here. I am a relationship healer and an unconditional love coach. So, how to heal any relationship completely in 3 words with unconditional love. So, what is unconditional love? If you can imagine, if you're a parent or a grandparent and you can imagine the birth of your child, right? And that outpouring of crazy unconditional love, just the feelings and emotions that well up in your heart and spill out. That's what it is in a nutshell. The easiest way for me to explain it. Like a newborn baby, it's the hands are splaying everywhere, it's kicking, it's in pure joy. That's what it is. And a newborn baby stays that way until they're 3 or 4 years of age. And, to that point, they're still corded to God, all right? So it's only after that when they experience a bit of negativity or when they start to understand and they're told the word no that they think, uh-oh, you know, I'm being judged or the limitations in my life. And of course, when kids start school, they experience discipline and the words no, put their hand up and behave and all the rest of it. So they realize that they're not quite the free soul they came into this life as. But how do I know a bit about unconditional love? Well, my wife and I have been married for 48 and a half years. We've 49 years on the 7th of May this year. So we've always had a unique sort of love right from the word go. We've sort of practiced that unconditional love right from the word go. And in our relationship, we come across challenges in our everyday life, don't we? We have as well. What we've done, though, we've separated our unconditional love for each other and almost like put that above, if you like, put that above, let's say, for example, on cloud 9, right? So it's away from the challenges of stresses and problems associated with everyday life. So our love is totally separate. It can't be touched, right? So we deal with issues on terra firma, on standing on earth, on everyday life, right? So, and of course, as we know, with unconditional love, you can't have any judgment. You can't have any conditions, right? So in our relationship, and it can be typical of any relationship, you love the being. You love the heart and soul of your being, your wife, your children, and yourself as a beautiful soul, beautiful loving soul you are. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to have $1 million. You don't have to have great intelligence. You don't have to be a huge academic, or you don't have to do or have anything. Just be the magnificent soul that you are. And your heart and soul, resides in our heart, of course, doesn't it? Our soul. We're lovers, right? And where God is spirit, God is love. So God must be in our heart. So, in a sense, we also are a God. Not the God, but we are a God. Because God lives in our heart, right? So what you've got to tend to do, like what we say, when I say unconditional love, it is everything, right? It is hope. It is safety and security. It is wisdom. It is peace of mind. It is resilience. It is motivation. It is kindness. It is gratitude. It is truth. It is trust. It is happiness and it's joy. And all of those things It's all those things together, right? Without exception. So what we're going to try and do is try and get rid of our masks that we all wear. We go out of the house, for example, we go to work, we wear a mask. So what we're going to try and do is get rid of our mask and just be our authentic self, our loving self. We go to work, we associate with our colleagues and so on, and try and utilize that unconditional love for not only for yourself, your spouse, your children, but for other people and every sentient being, all right? Because our mission on earth, when we come here, like we come from unconditional love in the spirit world. When we pass on, we get back into unconditional love. Our challenge on earth here in this earthly life, in this earthly realm, is to experience things other than love, other than unconditional love when we come here. Pain, judgment, jealousy, comparisons, all the rest of it. And when we fall out of unconditional love, we experience all sorts of pain. Our challenge then is to come back into unconditional love in this life, in this earthly life, after experience all that I just mentioned about all the different forms of pain that we experience, all the different negativity we experience in our life, not take it on board. Our challenge then is to find and come back into unconditional love, to recognize the beautiful being, heart, and soul that you are, with God the Spirit, God is love in your heart, to come back into that before we pass on into pass on from this world, from this earth, we pass over. If we can get back into unconditional love while we're still alive, at any stage in our life, then we literally created heaven on earth. We're living heaven on earth, right? Because heaven on earth, like we experience, where we come from, where we go to, it's all about unconditional love. Unconditional love is all there is, all there ever was, all there ever was, or ever will be. So it's a magnificent thing when you're in a relationship, when you experience and practice unconditional love. That means, sure, you might have discussions and sometimes heated discussions, but you always listen to and accept each other's points of view. And you put your different ideas or different opinions on different issues that you're resolving. And it's almost like putting them into a washing machine, right? Roll them around. And what it comes up with is a sharing of your ideas, opinions, and beliefs. And you honor each other's beliefs and opinions. Because as we know, there's always more than one way to solve or resolve a problem or issue. There's not one way. There's probably 100, there's probably 1,000 ways of solving an issue or problem. So the idea is to accept your partner's opinion, belief, honor, because part of unconditional love is all about absolute 100% respect. It's about empathy. It's about compassion. It's about understanding. And it's about deep, deep, deep care. So unconditional love is not about sex. It's an emotion. It's a feeling. And sure, as we know, sex is better when you have unconditional love for your partner. It's magical. But really, unconditional love is a feeling. It's a feeling you experience in your heart. Like I just mentioned right at the inception of this video. It's the feeling you experience when you have, as a parent, when you have a newborn baby. It's an outpouring of love that it's almost really, it's undescribable. You can't describe it. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling. And that is what you have with your partner. It's that feeling you have. It's the joy you have of being with your partner. Sometimes just sitting with them, with your partner, maybe not even saying something, enjoying a movie, just passing time, enjoying the quiet time, sitting together at the beach, for example, on a moonlit night, just really enjoying each other's company and accepting your partner just as they are, because they are 100% perfect as they are, and so are you. And of course, as we know, unconditional love, a big part of that is forgiveness. Forgiving anything and forgiving yourself, firstly, forgiving your partner, forgiving your children, forgiving anybody and everybody in your life. All these things pave the way for unconditional love, because you cannot have unconditional love with a judgment, with a condition. And part of unconditional love is to have the freedom of expression, the freedom to be your authentic self and express yourself authentically without anybody, without any limitation, without anybody judging you. And as I said before, unconditional love is it's the greatest thing you can experience in this life. And when you are a parent or a grandparent, you've had a child, you know what unconditional love is. It's to retain that feeling, have that same feeling for your partner and everyone else and everything else in your life. Animals, for example, dogs. Why do dogs come to Earth for? They come to Earth to teach us humans unconditional love. That's their purpose in this life. So important is to learn unconditional love, have that feeling. And as you become a grandparent, like myself, my wife and I, we've had 4 children, and we've got 11 grandchildren, soon to be 12. And the thing with you have your children and your grandchildren is you get that reminder when you see your grandchild, grandchild as a baby, and like your own children, grandchildren, even though our children might be, well, our eldest of our children are 48 now, you still think of your child as a baby, you'll think it in a heartbeat. You can think of your child as a baby, a newborn baby, in a heartbeat, just through a thought, and you recall those feelings you had, and that's a feeling you retain. Well, in my opinion, you should retain, or should always retain as a parent or grandparent throughout your child's life. They're always your baby, a 48-year-old baby. Anyway, guys, I hope you got something from that. But no matter what anybody else tells you about relationships, the most important thing that you can do for your relationship, the success of your relationship, to heal your relationship, get it back on track, is to get discovered, to uncover or recall that unconditional love and feeling with no judgment, no conditions, total forgiveness, total acceptance, respect, care, and understanding. And a couple of years ago, I did a hypnosis course, and my hypnosis trainer, when I said we were talking about, I can't recall what we were saying, but anyway, it came up, and I said, at that time we'd been married 46 years, only 9, so I said I totally unconditionally loved my wife for 46 years. And the hypnosis trainer said, "Oh, I don't believe that." And I said to him, "I don't care what you believe, but it's the truth for Riley and I." And in a sense, I felt sad for this guy. He was on his second marriage, but he'd obviously had issues in his life, so even married to his second partner, he still obviously did not unconditionally love his partner, which was sad. And my heart went out to him. But anyway, I unconditionally love you all. I can honestly say, hand on heart, I've unconditionally loved my wife for 48 and a half years. I love my children, grandchildren, all the same way. I can't love any other way. And for a long time, though, for growing up years and, like in my teenage, my childhood, and then I experienced a lot of violence. So I experienced a lot of pain outside of unconditional love. I knew what unconditional what was like, with my experience with my grandfather when I was a little boy, but he died when I was 11. And after a volatile childhood, I didn't really get to know or recall that or experience it again until I met my wife when I was 22 years of age. And I recalled that feeling. And I've always described my wife as a lady with a heart of pure gold, pure gold. And she actually taught me that I was worth loving. I relearned, recalled, and got that feeling of unconditional love back again. And I've never lost it for myself, my wife, my children, my grandchildren, everyone, every sentient being, all the animals I've worked with all my life, cows, horses, pets, dogs, cats, they all respond to unconditional love. What you give, you receive. Okay, guys, I won't hang on any longer, but I totally unconditional love you. And I hope you have unconditional loving relationships with your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, all your animals, with anyone and everyone in your life. I wish you total unconditional love because unconditional love is all there is. Love you. Bye for now.